De la right, my MVVs, welcome. Rivalry and spiritual warfare. Ooni of Ifes Palace is shocked as Igbi brought Ebony's family before the Odua traditional court with evidence for wearing her a spiritual mask. It is said that the spider that weaves so many web will one day trap itself in its own net. It is not a small something that we are hearing. You know that there is this spiritual warfare that is taking the toll in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. As it is rumored and alleged, they said that right now something is happening silently in the palace of the Ooni of Ife. Last 2 weeks, Igbi was the number one, like one of the most loved wives of the Ooni of Ife. Even though the palace of the Ooni of Ife has got some kind of traditional code of conduct where the Ooni is not supposed to eat from his wives, the Ooni is not supposed to do this, the Ooni is not supposed to do that. But they saw something that was really, really strange to all of them, where the royal, chef, raised the lamb that, the food that they are cooking for 2 weeks, that the monarch has not eaten their food. That when they serve the food, Igbi brings his own food and pull their own aside. And so Igbi was basically cooking for the monarch from her own personal kitchen and serving the monarch each time the monarch is ready to eat, okay? The meals would all be there. The royal chef, they will serve their own meal. Igbi will come and, turn their meals or maybe change the plate or something. They say something was really happening with the meals. But they thought that they should raise the lamb. And when they raised the lamb, they felt like Kabiyesi was going to do something about it. But they said there was nothing he did. He went ahead and he continued eating Igbi's food. And he's been eating Igbi's food. Now, last week, they saw something that was very different. That it was Igbi in the morning, Igbi in the afternoon, Igbi in the evening. Igbi in the morning, Igbi in the afternoon, Igbi in the evening. Kabiyesi was always going out with Igbi. At night, it's Igbi. Every time Igbi come and check this. Even schedule that when Dr. Elizabeth left schedule in the hands of gospel. Ooni of Ife took the schedule and gave to Igbi. Everything it was Igbi. Everybody knew something was wrong there, but there was nothing they could do. There was even an incident where he was supposed to go to Lagos. In the schedule, it was written that he was supposed to go to Lagos with Oletik. But Ooni of Ife changed it and went with Igbi. So many different incidences like that. There was an incident where he was talking to Bloblo. Igbi came and literally pushed Bloblo aside. And Ooni gave Igbi his hand. They went together with Igbi smiling. And all of that, it was Igbi. So people immediately knew that something had gone wrong, that somebody was hiding something, somebody was doing something. But of course, if you do not have evidence and you don't have the support of the monarch at the time, there's nothing you can do. And that is how it is in the palace. The monarch is an upright man, and he believes in equity and justice in his dealings with himself and everybody, including his wife. That's why you see, if a project today is gospel that is on top of a project, during the launching, gospel will sit very close to him, just by him, okay? If it is Bloblo, during the launching or anything, Bloblo will be there. He likes equity, he likes justice, that's how he is. But with what was happening in the palace, they knew something was wrong, okay? Then, now things went that way but then again, it is good to have people who understand the events, the dynamics and everything that is happening. That's why the father did not relent. The father kept going from one place to the other and trust these people. These are all traditionalists, okay? This whole thing, they say affected some of his Oloris, that Ebony was affected, Oletik was affected. The one person who was not affected as much was Bloblo. And the reason why Bloblo was not so affected happens to be that Bloblo is right there in Ile-Ife. She comes from the Lafogidi dynasty, and they are very strong people. They know the way around things. Immediately things started happening. They said they invited her to get a bracelet, and that she should never take that bracelet off. Never, ever, ever. The bracelet remains in her hand. So she went to go and collect the bracelet. So apparently it did not really affect her as much as. So things just started going. Nobody knows who did whatever. They said everything, turned around, like it kind of backfired. That is what we are hearing. And they say just one day from nowhere, Kabiyesi saw Igbi, and he was startled, and people wondered why, and he started saying they should stop them and stop them and stop them. At the time Igbi was coming, Igbi was actually coming with her bodyguard and her PA. So because the security guards did not know who Kabiyesi was asking them to stop. At that time, it would be funny to know that Kabiyesi was actually asking them to stop his own beloved Igbi. And so they could not do anything. Because they didn't act on time, Kabiyesi turned around and moved backward and moved into his inner room, okay? So after that time, they found out that Kabiyesi kind of has been avoiding Igbi so much. Now, it's royalty. If, for instance, let's say the governor of Lagos State, that's just an instance, had invited Ooni Of Ife to grace his occasion on, say, for instance, on the 10th of April. Now, from the royal household, they will send a letter informing maybe the governor of Lagos State that, okay, we will be there. I will be there with my wife, Bloblo, or I will be there with my queen, Oletik, or I will be there with my queen, Gospel. Now, that letter will be there. And those people would have recorded it. These are the people we are expecting, okay? You know how the royal VIT events are. And so something like this happens before that April. You find out that Ooni, the kind of person Ooni is, he's very organized. He would want to attend that event with that very Olori that they put in that paper. Yes, that is what he does. And they say that is the reason why you see that certain things, no matter how bad it seems, he gets to go to that event with that very Olori. Now, they said because there was an event sometime last week, and Igbi's name was that in that event. He didn't know what to do. They said they now had to give Igbi something to put on her face, to rub, and all of that, so that in the middle of that event, that thing will not, because the thing is not stationed on her face. That spiritual marks they are talking about is not stationed on her face. They said it flashes and it goes away. It flashes and it goes away. It's a spiritual marks, and it scares the living daylight out of Kabiyesi. And they say they now gave it to Igbi to rub, so that for the moment, at that period that they will be there together with Ooni of Ife, maybe in an event, that thing will not flash and it will startle the Ooni of Ife to the knowledge of the public. And so they did that, and so they were able to attend that event together. So right now, as we are hearing, they said the thing has become so frequent that marks is flashing. Every time it flashes, Ooni of Ife will be startled. And because of that, it's just putting the king completely away from Igbi. Like, where in the palace, Igbi doesn't go anywhere close to the Ooni of Ife because he does not know what is going on. Now, this thing is kind of ruining Igbi's relationship with the Ooni of Ife. And Igbi herself is already tired. And Igbi is trying to seek solutions from so many quarters. And now they say she has gone to so many places. And they have told her that Ebony has something to do with it. And they say, because Kabiyesi will not do anything about it. Kabiyesi is already exhausted with everything. His hands are filled up with a lot of things right now. They say Igbi has decided to take Ebony to the Odua traditional court. Now, do not forget, that these contents are based on, speculations and, rumor making the rounds on social media. They are unverified rumors and should not be seen as fact except you verify this information. Now, as we are hearing what is going on, they say that Igbi has brought Ebony before the traditional court, Ebony's family before the Odua traditional court. According to her, with evidence that this marks is projected on her by Ebony, that Ebony did it. And then again, people are saying, you see a child that was born into Ojuju calabash. You see a child that is proud to showcase her Ojuju calabash. You see a child that you know knows what she's doing, a traditional child. You want to come flex muscle with her. When they gum you something, it go hard you to remove her. There is something that you say spiritual warfare. No, don't even venture into it, because you need to be strong to fight spiritual warfare. And that is why people are giving Olori Naomi kudos. It is not a small thing. They say she has brought Ebony before the traditional court of Odua. I'm going to bring you more updates. Do not forget, these are all alleged, rumored, and speculated information making the rounds on social media.